Hey guys, and welcome to my brand new series, Assassin's Creed Database. So I know a lot of you have been waiting patiently for this series since January, but it's finally here. If you don't know what this is, then let me tell you. In this series, I'll be taking characters, places, events, and organizations from the Assassin's Creed world and looking at how they were depicted in Assassin's Creed compared to how they were in real life. In this episode, I'm going to be going over the main focus of the Assassin's Creed games, the Assassins. I'm very excited to bring you this series, so without further ado, let's get straight into the video. This video's topic will be the Assassins and how they were portrayed in Assassin's Creed versus how they actually were in real life. A common misconception is that the Assassins are not real and never existed in the real life world. This, however, is wrong. The Assassins, otherwise known as the Hashashin, can be traced back just before the First Crusade in 1094. They originated in Alama, north of what would be modern Iran. There isn't much known information about the Assassins because most of the early sources were written by enemies of the Order or were based on legend, or sometimes even both. Most of the inner recordings of the Assassins were destroyed during the capture of Masyaf Castle by the Mongols in 1256. However, the Order can be traced back from around 1050 to 1124, with the founder of the cult and the first Grand Master, Hassan-i-Sabbah. Sabbah was well liked throughout Cairo, Syria, and most of the Middle East by other Ismaili, which led to a number of people becoming his followers. Using his fame and popularity, he founded the Order of the Assassins. After creating the Order, Sabbah searched for a suitable place for a headquarters for the Assassins. This is where he either built or found Masyaf Castle. It was not only a sturdy castle for defense, but it was a place to indoctrinate his followers. After claiming the fortress, he set out to expand his reach and began reaching out to nearby settlements, towns, and districts. He used his assassins to gain political favor and to intimidate local populations. This doesn't sound very assassin-like if you ask me. Sabbah would never leave his fortress again in his lifetime. He spent his days building up his army of deadly assassins, which was built up on a hierarchical system. Below him, there was the greater propagandists, followed by propagandists, the Rafiqs, and lastly, the Lasiqs. It was the Lasiqs who would be trained to become some of the most feared assassins, or as they were called, Fidai. It isn't known how Sabbah was able to convince his Fidai to carry out his deeds with such loyalty. One of the best theories for this comes from reports from Marco Polo during his travels to Alama. He recounts a story he heard of the old man of the mountain who would drug his young followers with hashish, lead them to paradise, and then claim only he had the means to allow them to return there. This caused them to be fully committed to his cause and would do anything to get this paradise that they were promised. With his army of loyal assassins seeking paradise, Sabbah orchestrated many assassinations, ranging from politicians to great generals. Assassins would rarely ever attack citizens though. They tended not to be hostile towards them. Although the Fidayeen were the lowest rank in the Order of Assassins, and they were mainly used as expendable pawns and rarely returned from missions, much time and many resources were put into training them. The assassins were usually young, giving them the physical strength and stamina which would be required to carry out the assassinations. However, the Fidai also had to be patient, cold, and calculating. They were highly intelligent and well-read because they were required to possess not only knowledge about their enemy, but his or her culture and their native language. They were trained by their masters to disguise themselves and sneak into enemy territory to perform the assassinations. That's the basis of the Assassin Order and how it came to be. However, if we want to be able to compare the real-life assassins to that in the game, we need to go further in history to the second notable Grand Master of the Assassins, Rashid Din Sinan, also known as Al-Mualim from Assassin's Creed. Sometime in Sinan's life, he came across Masyaf Castle, the center of the Assassins, and received the typical Hashashin training. In 1162, the Grand Master of the Assassins at the time sent Sinan to Syria to officially become an assassin. Sinan also became the Grand Master of the Assassin Order, and he owned the Nizari stronghold Masyaf Castle. During his later life, his chief enemy, the Sultan Saladin, ruled over Egypt and Syria from 1174 to 1193. Saladin managed to escape death at the hands of the assassins twice, both ordered by Al-Mualim. In 1176, Saladin laid siege to Masyaf, but the siege was lifted after a notable event. One night, Saladin's guards noticed a spark glowing down the hill of Masyaf and then vanish among the tents. Saladin awoke from his sleep to find a figure leaving the tent. He then saw that beside his bed laid hot scones with a note at the top pinned by a poisoned dagger. The note threatened that he would be killed if he didn't withdraw his troops. Many say that Sinan himself left the dagger in the tent and walked out of the camp unseen. Sinan's last notable act occurred in 1191, when he ordered the successful assassination of William of Montferrat. This is where Assassin's Creed 1 takes place, in which Altair assassinated William of Montferrat in his quest to redeem his status as an assassin. Now obviously there are many differences between the assassins in Assassin's Creed and the Hashashin of the real world. Firstly, in Assassin's Creed, the assassins swore to safeguard humanity's free will and only killed people that need to be killed, the Templars and people who got in their way. However, in real life, the assassins killed countless political and religious leaders such as caliphs, viziers, sultans, and crusaders, due to the fact they had differing opinions to Sabah. The assassins in Assassin's Creed are a very romanticized portrayal of the assassins, and in real life they were definitely very different to the assassins in the game. However, their methods of getting to a target was not too different. They were trained to be patient and intelligent, much like Altair in Assassin's Creed 1, and they were even trained to hide in plain sight so they could discreetly take out their target. If that doesn't sound accurate to the assassins in the games, then I don't know what does. The assassins also never used the weapon the Hidden Blade that was created by Ubisoft to kind of set their game apart from other games in a similar format. The Hidden Blade's a really awesome weapon, and you know, of course a mechanism like that is way too advanced for the time period that the game's set, but overall it's a great weapon, and it definitely does make the assassins more awesome. Overall, the assassins from real life may not have had eagle vision, and they certainly weren't the awesome one-man army that Altair was, and they were not set on protecting the free will of the people or to protect the pieces of Eden from the Templars, but they were highly skilled and intelligent and shared many traits with the assassins in the video games. And they'd certainly do everything they could to make sure they got to their paradise, even going as far as showing that they're not afraid of death itself. So that is the end of the video, guys. I want to thank you all for watching episode 1 of Assassin's Creed Database. It's been really fun to make, been really fun doing all the research for it, and I hope you guys found it entertaining. Be sure to go ahead and like and subscribe for more Assassin's Creed content in the future. I do apologize if a bit of the editing was kind of a bit bad in places, because it was very difficult to find gameplay that was relevant to what I was talking about, considering a lot of it was, you know, there wasn't even images relating to what I was talking about because it was that far back in history. But hopefully in the next topic we'll be able to find gameplay and images that are relevant to what I'm talking about, and it'll just be fucking awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed episode 1 of Assassin's Creed Database. It's been a long wait. Thank you guys for your support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.